Easy. Aubameyang! Oh, brilliant! He took it first time and with devastating effect. Put through by Steve Bold. Would you believe it?
I don't want to waste what's left. The storms we
The
chase.
game, according to the referee, and Bergkamp certainly life in hand.
No, I don't want to waste what's left. And on we'll go.
Henri. What a goal!
Dance through the highways till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go.
He's in again. Pushed out by Bartes. Wiltor!
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another show. Listen, I hope you're all keeping safe and well. I hope you can all see me. I hope you can all hear me. And yeah, I've been a little bit quiet on the channel lately. And that's for a number of reasons. So I've been trying to figure stuff out, new content going forward. And yeah, obviously I've been enjoying the England games. And I'm going to come on to that. Obviously, England, yeah, last night. Listen, I'm gonna address that in due course. But yeah, big up to everybody watching. I appreciate you all, and I appreciate you all coming and tuning into the channel. Big up to Joanne. Big up Tubbs as well in the chat. But yeah, like, guys, I'm just going to I want to address this whole situation that's gone on, obviously, on social media. Obviously it's gone on with what's gone on with the England. Sorry, I was just losing my train of thought there. So yeah, listen, guys, that obviously you all seen what's happened, the racism, which I'm getting to the point with this now, guys, where I've had enough of talking about it. And that's not, don't take it the wrong way. What I mean by that, this keeps coming up time and time again, and nothing gets done about it. That's what I mean by I've had enough of talking about it, because it comes up and then it doesn't get dealt with. These social media companies don't do anything about it. I'm at the point now where something needs to be done. These social media companies need to actually start taking this seriously, and they need to start actually taking this matter seriously, and actually they need to deal with it. They need to deal with it, and they need to get a grip of this, because it's just disgusting, and it shouldn't be tolerated. This should not be tolerated in today's society. And I'm going to come on to the football aspect, because I know you're all dying. I've kind of been giving it large over the last couple of weeks, and yeah, fair enough. I backed the team. I've just backed my team. Back my national team as anybody would. And I realize I'm going to have to eat a bit of humble pie. But I wanted to cover this first because it's an important situation. But you know what? I am pissed off with the fact that this keeps happening. And I'm fed up with, there's plenty of talk, people going, oh, it's not appropriate. It's not acceptable. That's good, but I want to see action. And it's not just racism, guys. It's not just racism. I'm looking at the bigger picture in terms of equality. I'm looking at the bigger picture. And, in Britain, equality is something that is lacking. in my opinion. It's something that is lacking. Can you all hear me all right? Is this mic good? I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah, it's something that is lacking, guys, in Britain. You know, when it comes to racism, disability discrimination, it's something that is this culture seems to thrive on picking on people that is of a different background, and it seems to be accepted, and for me it's not acceptable. And obviously I can't speak from a racial point of view because I'm not in that position, but I can only speak from my own personal experiences, from somebody who lives with a disability, who is perceived as different. So I can only speak from that. I'm not saying I tolerate racism, because I don't. I hate it. It's disgusting. And I'm probably, apart from people who are living in that situation themselves, I'm probably best placed from somebody who has a disability. And yes, racism and disability discrimination are two completely different things, but in a sense they're one in the same thing. So I'm probably best to speak about this. Big up to Grant, big up to Steve, big up to Static, big up to everybody in the chat. Big up Arsenal Manic. But yeah, do smash the like button, guys, and smash the subscribe. But yeah, I'm best placed to probably big up Mr. Bungle. Yeah, I'm probably best to talk about this, guys, because I've experienced it so much in life when it comes to discrimination. And it doesn't matter whether you're black, white, disabled, you know, or any kind of other impairment. I've experienced the similar hate on a similar level to people being racially abused. You know, obviously, like I said, I can't speak from a racial point of view, in the sense that, you know, I'm not you know, from a different background in terms of the color of my skin, or the you know, the nationality, that my nationality. But from a disability point of view, I can kind of relate to what these guys are going through, because I've experienced, like I said, I've experienced it in life. You know, going to school, and I was lucky because I went to a school with, you know, a lot of the people around me were blind and visually impaired, so I kind of didn't have that. But you know, just growing up in my neighborhoods and stuff where I lived, I experienced it, you know, not being accepted into you know, the local group, the local I don't want to say gang, because gang's the wrong word, but I wasn't involved in being in the popular crowd, so to speak, you know, because a lot of people saw me as different, and a lot of people saw, you know how kids are, you know, at that age, they only want to be with the popular ones. And unfortunately, because of my disability, I wasn't perceived as one of the popular ones. So I can relate to it. But you know what? It's still happening in today's society. And I experience it more as an adult, if I'm being honest. I find it hard to deal with more as an adult than I did as a kid. As a kid, I was young and naive, and I never really got as upset over it. But as an adult, I find it really hard to deal with it. You know, I get it, you know, from my interviews with AFTV, not being included in any regular shows, you know, that, and then obviously I've started my own YouTube channel, and I only ever wanted was a voice for disabled fans. I only ever wanted to be a voice for a section of fans that don't get a look in, that don't get a chance on mainstream broadcasts. You know, when you look at YouTube channels and successful ones that pride themselves on fan representation, they don't ever get disabled fans on, and I think it's wrong. And you know what? Unfortunately, we live in a society where that happens, and I realize I've gone really deep into this whole situation, but it's something that I relate to. It's something that I am really passionate about. And when I see stuff happening last night and this morning, that these young kids that are doing what they love, and they have the pressure of taking a penalty at a young age in a European final when they've never experienced anything like that in their careers before. And yet, sadly, it didn't go our way, and they have to come off, and they're emotionally fragile from that experience. And yet, to have to read those messages and to get that torrent of abuse. I woke up this morning really proud of the boys for what they'd done, really proud. And yet I'm disgusted at England fans. I'm disgusted that a minority, and let's be honest, guys, it's not just that. Why do England fans, and I'm going to say a minority because not everybody, but why do England fans feel the need to revel in somebody's difference or to revel in somebody's discomfort? I get support the team. I understand that, and I'm fully behind that. But you don't need to prey on other people's misery or jibe somebody because they're a different color. You don't need to jibe somebody. You know, go back to the England-Germany game. There was a minority of fans that were abusing a 10-year-old German girl for crying because her team had lost. Come on. I said it at the time, and I didn't say it on stream, but I said it on many tweets and on many posts and to many people. I said, I don't approve of that. You know, at the time, I was glad we beat Germany, but preying on some little 10-year-old German girl because she's upset that her team's lost, I'm sorry, that's not what I want our country to represent. I don't want people to look at us and go, that's the true representation of England and English fans. And again, we've seen it last night. And we saw it in the semi-final with the incident with the laser pens. And this is why the UK will never host a major tournament, because we've got a minority of fans that just don't care. We've got a minority of fans that don't give a toss. We've got a minority of fans that are just reckless. And I just, when you look at it as a whole, guys, we have got a prime minister that is openly condoning booing people take the knee, and I find that wrong as well. But I'm looking at not just from a racial point of view. I'm looking at it from the bigger picture, and I'm looking at it. Any discrimination needs to be dealt with. And do you know what, right? And I don't watch Love Island, right? You guys know I've been on here and I've condemned Love Island and I've criticized it. It's the shittest show going. And this year they've got a disabled person on there. And I was like, okay, this is brilliant, because actually representation in Main Street, listen, Love Island is watched by millions. So actually the fact that they've got a disabled representation on there is brilliant. But then I read a report from the producer. I think it was the producer or the ITV director or somebody in charge of putting that show together. and I don't know whether it was from this year. It might have been from 2018, 2019, but it was just highlighted because there was a disabled fan. There's a disabled fan on there, and his words were, you know, we want to give a true representation, but we also want the people on that show to be attracted to each other. And I just sat there and I'm like, what are you kind of implying? That disabled people aren't attractive? And I just saw that and I read it and I was like, this is disgusting, actually. The fact that you and people are looking at it and they're not highlighting that, but I looked at it and I was like, this is wrong. This is so wrong. Why is people not up in arms about that statement? And the sad fact is that people accept it. People accept it. And when I started doing AFTV, when I started doing my YouTube channel, I only ever wanted to be a voice. And constantly on AFTV, I was always not given a chance. And ultimately, that's why I started my own channel. And I was not given a chance on any other platform. The only person who gave me a chance to really get going and be a voice is sadly no longer with us, and that was Claude. But you know, it just comes down to the, like, for me, the wider issue of society, and it's society in England. And I tell you, like, I know a lot of you in the comments are saying it's a worldwide problem with fans and stuff, but this equality thing is not a worldwide problem. I can tell you this now. Now, I've been to America, and let me tell you, it's totally different over there. I go over there as somebody with a visual impairment, and I enjoy myself over there. I enjoy being around those, you know, the American people. When I come here, when I come back home and I'm in amongst British people and English people, I absolutely hate it. I ain't gonna lie. I hate it because as a nation and as a society, it's not as accepted. And you know, over there in America, it's accepted as part of their culture, and they don't criticize, they don't discriminate in the same way. But over here, it's this. Honestly, I hate British people. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've said this, and I've said this on many streams. I hate British people because over here, we like to put everybody in a box. We like to put everybody, if you're not considered or perceived as normal, then you're not one of us. You're not tolerated in society. And when I talk about society, I mean, when it comes to hanging out with the lads at the pub, or when it comes to on channels like YouTube channels, people always criticize and say, oh, how can you have an opinion? You know, you can't see. And, you know, actually, it's a British thing. And actually, 90% of people that support me with this channel are people that live abroad. And that just says something, because as British, you know, 90% of British people, and I'm not going to say all of British people, because there are some gems. There are some real gems. You know, Claude was one of them. Real decent guy. And then there's a couple I can name. You know, Scott from the Red Cannon. He's in the chat. Big up, Scott. Go and check out his channel. You've got Sam Greenwood as well, who's a decent guy, a regular supporter of me. But 90% of British people just like to judge and criticize and have an opinion, and are always, if you're not, like I said, if you're not perceived as normal, then you've got no place in society. And I'm just, look, racism, disability discrimination, any kind of prejudice should just, you know, these social medias actually should take more responsibility. And you know what's really sad is that these guys can get away with putting these horrible, racist, vile comments on social media, and it doesn't get taken down. But yet, you put a clip of an old football match on with Thierry Henry scoring the winning goal or something. Let me tell you, right, yeah, before you've even posted that clip, you're getting done for copyright. How is that right? How is that fair? That's disgusting. Do you know what I mean? That just shows how much social media is got its priorities wrong. And do you know what, right? Yeah, fair play to Gary Neville, because he gave an interview on Sky Sports. And do you know what I liked? He gave a really passionate interview about racism, and everything he said was spot on. And then at the end of it, he said, "Oh, please don't cut this out of the rerun, please. If you cut this, please don't cut this out of the rerun," because he knew that they could cut it out. And fair play to him for making a stand and for actually criticizing the people that matter when it comes to making change. So fair play to Gary Neville. He actually, you know, whether you love him or hate him or criticize what he said, he was actually bang on with what he said. It's mad. It's total mad. It really is, guys, honestly. And you know, I've always said on here, none of that racism or any kind of discrimination is tolerated on this channel. And you know, everybody's welcome. It doesn't matter whether you've got a disability. Listen, obviously, I've got a disability myself. Whether you're, you know, whether you're from a different country, whether you're a different color skin, everybody's welcome, and that's the way everybody should treat people. And the other thing I wanted to talk about as well, which actually disgusted me, and this is why I'm ashamed also to be British, is that there was a minority of England fans last night, didn't have tickets, but they barged their way into the stadium, tried to get in and nicked people's seats. And that is, you can't tolerate that either. That is disgusting. People pay good money. And I get it. I get it. Everybody wanted to be at that game. Completely understand that. But you don't just nick somebody else's seat when they've purchased a ticket. I'm sorry, that's disgusting, and that shouldn't be tolerated either. And the stewards completely lost control, in my opinion. The stewards lost control of the situation, and you know, they should get more support when it comes to dealing with situations and incidents like that, because that shouldn't have happened. Nobody should get into the stadium when they don't have a ticket. Nobody should nick somebody else's seat when they don't have a ticket. Nobody should ever steal the right to be there when they don't have a ticket. But it's honestly, guys, it's mad. It's total mad. It's just big up Gary as well. Big up to all you guys in the chat. Steve, Omar, Grant, Tubbs. Yeah, I think Joanne. Yeah, big up to all you guys in the chat. Do remember to hit the like button and subscribe. Yeah, apologies as well that there's no thumbnail on this video. I'm having problems with finding somebody who can design my thumbnails, and at the moment I'm having to do shows without thumbnails, and it's really frustrating me, but I'm hoping to get it sorted. So yeah, apologies for that. I like to do, you know, I like to do my bit, and hopefully I'll find somebody. And it's a bit crazy at the moment. But yeah, like it's total mad with this, and it's something's got to be done. And yet again, when we should be talking about the team, and I'm going to come on to that now, it's been overshadowed by a minority of fans who think it's big and clever to act in a hooligan way, behave in a racist manner, and you know, just act completely irresponsibly. But listen, hopefully the government do something about it. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that society will change, especially over here. Anyway, society is just fucked. But let's talk about the England game itself. And I've seen a lot of people pile in on Gareth Southgate. Now, my opinion of the game, and we started well. We started really well. The best start we could have hoped for. Absolutely. Scoring inside 2 minutes. And then after that, we had a brilliant first half. Absolutely outstanding. And then the second half, this in Italy got control of the game. And from then on, it was a bit of a hard watch in terms of England creating anything. We were chasing shadows. Italy were just running us ragged. They had control of the ball. England were running without the ball. A lot of our decent players looked leggy. And I honestly, genuinely believe, I think the tournament caught up with us last night. And I actually think I'm going to come on to the penalties a little bit later. But I actually think what I saw in that game last night was I saw an up-and-coming team versus a really well-oiled, experienced Italian team. And the lack of experience cost us the game. Because had we been more experienced, had we had more experience of finals, and then we would have seen the game out in terms of we would have gone and got that second goal. A lot of people are looking at that as, a lot of people are blaming Gareth Southgate for not being attacking enough. And a lot of people are blaming Southgate for, maybe making the wrong subs and not giving them enough time to influence the open play. But listen, I actually don't blame Gareth Southgate. I think the players on the pitch didn't let us down. They did not let us down, but I just think they lack the experience of getting over the line. And I genuinely believe that it's we got MO7, we got James McCalden as well. So yeah, guys, if you are new, do hit that like button and subscribe button. It's really great to see so many of you in the chat. But yeah, guys, I think we just lacked experience. I honestly do. I think we lacked experience to get over the line. And do you know what? I'm not too disappointed that we lost. I am disappointed from, obviously, I wanted us to bring the trophy home and it would have been great. But I'm more proud than disappointed. I'm proud of what we've achieved. I'm proud of the fact that, we got to where we were. And let's be honest, Italy only beat us on penalties. And listen, penalties is a lottery. When it comes to a penalty shootout, it's more luck than skill. And it's all about whether you can keep your composure. But in terms of what the team has done, it's brought the nation together. It's, the way that they've conducted themselves. The football has not been pretty, but we should be really proud of the fact that England got to the final. And then last year in the World Cup, the semi-final. Guys, remember 2016, this England team was on its knees. We'd just been beaten by Iceland. We'd just been absolutely humiliated by Iceland. If you'd have said to most English people back then, in 5 years' time, you will have got to a World Cup semi-final and then got to a European final in the space of 3 years, and then got knocked out and then, got knocked out. I think most people would have said you're talking rubbish. England ain't going to do that. England are not going to get to a final. Proud. So Arsenal Manic, I just want to pick up on your comments. Said proud of what, getting the least out of your squad, and Italy were there to be beat. Do you know the thing is, and we can look at it and say, yeah, they were there to be beat, and they were, but we didn't have. That comes down with experience, doesn't it? That comes down, seeing a game through. You've got to be experienced to see the game through. And what I saw from this Italy team, even when England were dominating, none of those Italian players were panicking. Like, we were all high and buzzing because we were 1-0 up. But I looked at this Italian team during the game and they weren't panicking that they were a goal down. They were just riding it out, riding the England pressure out. And then in the second half, they took control. They took control. They pulled us apart. They made us run without the ball for 20 odd minutes. And when you do that, it's energy sapping. Absolutely energy sapping to run for 20 minutes without the ball. If we had had more experience, we could have killed the game off when we were dominating. But you have to remember, Italy have won tournaments. They've been in countless finals, World Cup finals, European finals. And we haven't. That was first time in 55 years. And you have to also factor that 90% of this England team are, I think the average age is 23, 24. That's the average age of this England squad. And then when you look at the players that played, you got Declan Rice, never been in a game of that magnitude before. Then you've got Calvin Phillips, again, never been in that game of that magnitude before. Then you've got Harry Kane. Yes, he's been in a Champions League final, but he's not really been in a winning culture. Come on, Tottenham have not really been in a winning culture, have they? When you look at Harry Maguire, okay, yes, he's been at United, but again, at a time where United haven't been great. They've not been in the all-conquering United that they once were. Luke Shaw's had his problems on and off the pitch. He's only come back into form. Pickford, obviously, and I thought Pickford done really well, on the whole. But again, not really been in a game of that magnitude. Yeah, you could look at the semi-final. And when you look at it as well, guys, these teams, when you look at the teams that have won major tournaments, they've always had heartbreak before the success. They've always had heartbreak to get to where they are. And I believe this experience is going to, we actually learned from the last World Cup when, in the semi-final. And, we got one better and, yeah, we didn't quite get over the line, but this team is such a young team. It's such a young team. And I'm not saying that Gareth Southgate didn't make errors, because he came out and said that, the penalty takers were his decision and his decision alone. He takes responsibility. So he's taken responsibility. I don't know. I just look. Fair enough. Look, it's my opinion, guys. You don't have to agree with my opinion. You don't need to leave the chat because you don't agree with what I'm saying as well. Listen, have the decency to respect people's opinion. Manic, if you're going to put a comment, I'm going to read it out, but respect my opinion. We might disagree, but leave in the chat because I don't agree with you. Leave in the chat because I don't agree with you. Come on, everybody's different. It's my opinion. It's mad. Big up Jonathan FC. Big up Haley. Proud of squandering the best ever opportunity. We had everything at home. I don't like being proud of failure to the group of players. But do you know what it is, Manic, right? You've got to look at the bigger picture. This team is still young. You've got to look at the bigger picture. Come on, if you're not looking at the bigger picture, then you can't really see a process of how a successful team is built, because it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. We didn't get the job done. Look, we go again, and we got the World Cup, and actually playing at home, yes, it has its advantages, but when you've not been in that pressurized situation, it can have its disadvantages. And I'm not saying that Gareth Southgate got everything wrong. He got bits wrong, but I'm just looking at the bigger picture. I'm looking at the bigger picture. I'm looking at the bigger picture. I'm looking at the bigger picture, you know, and it's easy to, and this is the problem, right? This is my issue. A lot of Arsenal fans are criticizing Gareth Southgate because they're making comparisons from stuff that's gone on at Arsenal. And I just think you need to separate the two things. I think you need to separate the two things. And actually what Gareth's done, yes, he's made mistakes, but what Gareth's done, he's managed to reconnect a nation with its football team. Because let's be honest, guys, in 2016, was anybody really bothered about international football? And in tournaments, you've seen people really watching, and I just think you've got to look at the bigger picture. And I believe success will come with this England team. It's just, unfortunately, again, we live in a society where patience is not a key. And listen, you can't compare Southgate to Arteta because there's two different scenarios. Absolutely two different scenarios. And, listen, Arteta breaks all the wrong records. And look, I'm just, you've got to look at it from the bigger picture. And that's what I'm doing with this England team. I'm looking at it from the bigger picture. Manic says, let me pick up on your last point of that comment, Manic, when you said most managers would have so many managers would have won that final with this squad on the bench. Let me ask you this then. Where did we finish with other managers? Did Sven-Göran Eriksson get us to a final? Did Fabio Capello get us to a final? Did Roy Hodgson get us anywhere near competing? No. And you look at their managers. Obviously, Sam Allardyce, he fucked it up for himself. But we've had experienced managers. We've had managers, and they've not done the job. And what Gareth Southgate's done, he's got us to a semi-final and a final in 3 years in the two last tournaments. And he's had to put other factors back together with connecting a nation connecting a nation with its national team again, and he's had to start from scratch. And if we'd have won it, right, yeah, if we'd have won it, everybody would be praising Southgate, right? Everybody would be going, oh, he's the best thing since sliced bread. I'm just saying, let's not be too reactionary. Let's look at the bigger picture of what's been trying to achieve. You remember, half of this England team are not peaking yet, are not at the peak of their careers. Do you know what I mean? You've just got to look at it from a look. I'm not saying that he didn't get things wrong. The penalty decisions to maybe let Saka take a penalty could be questioned. I mean, me personally, we're England, we bottled the big occasion. Comments I get bringing on Rashford and Sancho, but for fuck's sake, get them on earlier so they can influence the game. At least get a feel for the game. Steve says, got to go to work. Have a great time. Take care. Thanks for popping in, Steve. Put it. Look, I'm not saying, and I can see a lot of you in the comments obviously disagreeing with me, but that's fine because listen, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I'm just giving my opinion. Look, I don't agree with Saka and Sancho maybe taking penalties. You know, certainly not Saka. He's 19 years old. I kind of understand why he might have done it, but I personally, if that was me, I wouldn't have done it. You know, listen, Saka's fearless. He's got loads of courage. He's, you know, he takes everything in his stride. So I kind of can understand why he done it. Me personally, I probably would have gone with, you know, with Sterling or somebody who's, you know, with someone who probably has got a bit more experience. Pick up Joanne Smith. Our bench was strong. Let's have a look. If you got battered by Italy on the night, would your answer be different? But you know, the thing is, we didn't get battered though, did we? We lost on penalties. Italy didn't beat us in open play, and some, you know, I'd rather play this pragmatic football and get far in a tournament, go into the latter stages of a tournament, than play open, expansive football and get knocked out in the last 16 or the quarters. Because let's be honest, we've done that. We've had teams where we've been too expansive and we've just failed. We've failed to deal with the opposition. And I genuinely believe Italy won that game because they were more experienced in that situation. And yeah, you can look at Gareth as well, maybe lacking experience with dealing with a final. But you know what? Like, you've got to look at the bigger picture. And you know, he learned from things from the 2018 World Cup semi-final, and actually we had a much better tournament this tournament. But it's just, you've got to look at as well. Like I said, 90% of this England team are still young. You've got to, do you know what I mean? You talk about players like Sancho and Saka, just starting their careers. Do you think that's a massive achievement to get to a final that you're so young in your career? And let's be honest, right? Yeah. The young talents have all missed crucial penalties. You look at Saka, you look at Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe missed his penalty. People forget that he's still quite young. We made them look poor. But Manik, is it cowardly tactics? Is it really cowardly tactics? You know what? You're in a lose-lose situation, because if we played expansive football and got battered 7-0, people would be going, "Oh well, Gareth's too open. He didn't keep it tight. He didn't we were too open." Come on, guys. We've seen teams be ripped to shreds for playing open and expansive football. Do you know what I mean? So you can't have it both ways. Yeah, I agree there should be more of a balance to that, but it's a learning curve, isn't it? You can't expect too much from these players at the moment. Negative football. See, everyone's saying negative football, but negative football's got us to a semi-final and a final in 2 major tournaments. Do you know what I mean? Like it's if we were playing negative football and we got battered, then you could probably say, okay, that we haven't made progress, but we have made progress. We got Trim 1902. Yeah. Yesterday was fearful from England. You shouldn't just defend for 85 minutes. England has the talent to do it. But that comes down to as well, the players on the pitch can be more creative as well. Do you know what I mean? The players on the pitch, I thought our forwards were very poor yesterday in attacking. They've got to take some responsibility. You lot are all pinning it on Gareth Southgate, but the players on the pitch have got to take some responsibility, especially those more experienced guys like Sterling and Harry Kane. Look, it is what it is, isn't it? Yeah. What's that comment? Where's that comment? If this was Arteta, would you say look at the bigger picture? No, it's completely different, right, Gary? And let me tell you why it's different. Because Arteta lost us that semi-final by actually fucking around with the team selection and he was playing the wrong team. And actually, when you look at Arteta, he fucked up over 2 legs, over 2 consecutive games, whereas Gareth Southgate's got better players than Arteta. Okay, you can't really compare the two. You can't really compare the two. I just think we need to look at the bigger picture, and a lot of people are obviously hurting right now, and I'm obviously disappointed. I wanted us to win that final, but guys, you have to look at as well. Saka actually stepped up. Whether he should have done or not, whether he should have been selected or not, and same with Sancho and Rashford, those guys stepped up. they didn't shy away from it. They stepped up. Okay, it backfired. It didn't go wrong, but they stepped up when more senior players like Henderson, I think Henderson had actually been taken off, so he wasn't able to take a penalty. But when you look at some of the more experienced guys, they didn't step up to take a penalty. And that takes courage to step up. And we have to give some credit to Donnarumma as well, because he is one phenomenal goalkeeper. Like, that guy, like, he's just so big in goal, isn't he? He's so massive and spreads himself so wide. You have to give credit to him, and you got to give credit to Pickford as well. He saved 2 penalties, but yeah, you've got to give credit to Donnarumma in that penalty shootout. He's got a good, phenomenal record at saving penalties. 31 days till the proper football starts, says my brother. Yeah, it's going to be interesting as well. I ain't even looking forward to the new season. Like, honestly, the way Arsenal's fucking around with transfers right now, it's mad. It's mad. It's total mad. But yeah, guys, listen. Obviously, listen. We're going to disagree on the England, and obviously, it's still raw now. And all I can say is, look, we'll go again for the World Cup. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And in the World Cup, if we bottle it again, then fair enough. Then questions need to be asked. But at the moment, I'm just, look. It is what it is, isn't it? We can't change it. It's happened. Obviously, everyone's hurting right now, but I think for me, the bigger issue is dealing with the other stuff that's gone on around this game and around this tournament. For me, dealing with those issues of racism and that, I think that's, to me at the moment, I think that's a bigger problem that needs to be sorted out. And actually, those guys shouldn't be getting that kind of abuse when you're stepping up. When you miss a penalty, I'm sorry, it's just totally wrong. And actually, people need to, I think that should be, rather than worrying about the World Cup and worrying about, I think actually, this comes up time and time again, that there's a minority of English fans. And this is why I always say England will never host a major tournament while we've got a minority of hooligans that are actually just out to cause trouble. Hub says they better learn fast because the World Cup's just around the corner. I'm just saying Southgate isn't the guy. Look, everybody has their difference of opinions on Southgate. I've been critical early on in the tournament of Southgate. I've been critical of him, but we are going to get some tougher tests in the World Cup. We are. We're going to have the likes of Brazil. We're going to have the likes of Argentina. We're going to have, we're going to have those guys, and there's going to be other teams. There's going to be other teams in the World Cup. So we're going to have tougher tests, and it's just whether we can do that. Obviously, beating Germany was a great success. It's got to be said it was an aging German side that actually probably they need a massive overhaul, but there's going to be tougher tests. And you think that a lot of the players that played today are going to have a year's more that played yesterday are going to have a year's more experience. So it's look, it is what it is. We're going to disagree on some points, and that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Big up Eric. He said England luck of the Irish. Maybe you should face the fact these players aren't as good as they get hyped. Foden was meant to be as good as Gascoigne, but flopped. Foden was meant to be better than Gascoigne, but he flopped at the Euros. But to be fair, he was injured at this tournament. But yeah, he didn't live up to expectation. Omar says, I'm delighted that England lost, but gutted for Saka. And yeah, honestly, guys, when we lost, my overriding emotion last night was more gutted for him. Actually, I've got to be honest, it was more gutted for him. And you know, look, if it had scored it, he would have been the hero. And if it's penalties is one of those things that it is such a lottery. It is a lottery, penalties. It's a mad lottery. And you know, I said the same as well, didn't I? When France lost to Switzerland, I said the same thing about you know, Kylian Mbappe. You know, obviously he missed his penalty as well. So, you know, and he's still a young boy. But yeah, it's mad. It's total mad. But listen, we've just got to be. It is what it is. It is what it is, guys. You know, with these players, it's mad. But yeah, guys, do smash the like button. Do subscribe. If you are new to the channel. And obviously, looking ahead, I just want to touch up on Arsenal. Let's look ahead to Arsenal season. Pre-season starts tomorrow. Obviously, we're playing in the opening games. And apparently, and that's the other thing as well, right? Yeah. I looked at Arsenal, right? Yeah. And, you know, actually, I can't believe that Arsenal are charging £28 for the 4 pre-season friendlies. That is absolutely insane. Like, I can't believe they're charging to watch pre-season football. Like, are they? Oh, that's just, I can't believe that. What do you guys think about that? Arsenal are charging. Should not have gone to penalties. They have the talent to play better in regards to the England. But yeah, guys, honestly, what do you make of Arsenal charging for 4 preseason, for all the preseason games? Obviously, the 2 games and then the America's Cup thing. But yeah, that's mad. I can't believe they're doing that. But yeah, like I say, we're a month away from the season. And I tell you what, Arsenal have got to do their business fast. Arsenal have got to get their business done, because at the moment, they're bottling it, aren't they? Absolutely fucking bottling it. Absolutely bottling it. But yeah, it's mad. It's total mad, guys. It's mad. It's mad, and I'm looking forward to the new season. But like I said, I don't hold out much hope, and I'm actually going into this season with no optimism. Like at this current time and moment, and I hope Arsenal change my opinion on this. At the moment, I am not optimistic for the new season. If this is how I think it's going to go, I think we're going to go and get absolutely battered. I think we're going to get absolutely smashed in the first 5 games. Maybe we'll probably beat Burnley. But listen, we're probably going to get hammered by Brentford. Chelsea, Man City, we're going to get battered. And then, yeah, we'll probably beat Burnley. And then I think we've got Spurs as well, haven't we, in there? So, yeah, I ain't confident, guys. Not confident. Arsenal cashing in on the Tavares signage. Exactly, Tubbs. Trim says Arsenal FC seems to be pole dating. Big up to you, Trim, as well. I've not seen you in my chat before. I've seen you posting regularly in this show, but I've not seen you. So big up to you before. Thanks for tuning in. Lone Star Londoner, how are you doing, bruv? Thanks for tuning in. Arsenal just signed 10 million for all or nothing, but still wants more money for preseason. They can't sell a player for when they can't sell a player without a discounted fee. Do you know what though? Like, it's total mad. It is total mad. This fucking team, this club, mate, this absolute club is really. This club is going to be the death of me, I tell you. It really is. This club is going to be the death of me. So you won't be surprised and upset when the season starts, Paul. Hey, listen, I'll probably be upset, but I ain't going to be surprised. I ain't going to be surprised because let's be honest, it's just going to be, it's going to be disastrous. Lone Star says transfer window ends the 31st of August. Stay positive. 10 players leaving, mate. I don't know. I'm just not confident. I'm not confident at all. I'm just mad. It's just total mad. It really is. Honestly, guy, I ain't fucking this. I ain't happy with the state of Arsenal at the moment, and I'm so disconnected with Arsenal right now, and they need to pull something out of the bag to get me back interested, because at the moment I'm fed up of negative vibes from this club. I'm fed up of it. But listen, it's going to be a massive season for Arteta because, you know, fans are back in the stadium, so it's just going to be massive. He's got no excuses. No excuses. But I ain't going to lie, I'm looking forward to getting back to the Emirates, you know, for the match day point of view. I'm looking forward to doing match day vlogs as well. I'm looking forward to doing those. So those are going to be really good. Scotland to win World Cup in Qatar will show how it's done, says Grant. Mate, you got to figure out how you guys are getting out the group stages of tournaments. But yeah, you guys have got to figure out how you're getting out of the group. But it is what it is. And listen, I don't really want to talk too much more about international football. Don't really want to talk too much more about international football. It's done. You know, we got to talk about Arsenal. And yeah, guys, I am going to be doing pre-season watch-alongs. Oh dear, pre-season watch-alongs, the madness. So yeah, there's a game tomorrow, and I think it's at 6 p.m. So providing I can actually access the game on the website, and that's the big thing as well. I got to figure out whether I can still get the free, because if you're a member, then you can get the games free. You don't have to pay the extortionate prices. So me being a season ticket holder, I think I get free access. So if I can access it, I'll be doing a watch along. I'll be doing the preseason watch alongs if I can access it, and I'm hoping I can. I've just got to figure it out. But yeah, it's mad. It's total mad. And then obviously I'll be doing transfer updates. Yeah, I'll be doing transfer updates, obviously any transfer news. And yeah, we're fully into the new season. But like I said, I'm looking forward to, in terms of YouTube wise, I'm looking forward to the stuff that I'm doing this season. I've got a podcast in the pipeline, so that's going to be once a week. It's going to be 1 hour a week with a panel of guests. So I'm just in the process of finalizing the format and how that's going to work and the panel. And then obviously got the match day vlogs coming up, and those are going to be great. I'm looking forward to doing those. So yeah, lots to look forward to on the channel. Trim says, just discovered your channel. Knew about you from AFTV, but just discovered your channel. Yeah, thanks for coming. I hope you, yeah, please hit the subscribe. And yeah, like I'll be getting lots of guests on as well, guys. Leading up to the season, I'm going to try and get loads of guests on and do shows with guests. So yeah, big up to all the subscribers. Like I say, we're on the road to 3K as well. So hopefully I can push on when the season kicks off. I can push on to 3K. Reality is reality. 10 players leaving. Simple, says Lone Star. Yeah, big up to everybody. £8 for preseason. Just try and find the link. Don't pay the money. I get the I Lone Star says not paying to watch preseason. Hey, listen, I get it free as a member, so I don't have to pay. I don't have to pay. I don't have to pay. I get preseason for free. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, listen, guys, I'll be back tomorrow with the watch along. I think it's Hibernian and Arsenal taking on Hibs tomorrow at 6 p.m. So yeah, I'll be back with the watch along for that. If I providing I can get it to work. But yeah, do hit that like button. Do hit the subscribe button. I would really, really appreciate that. Listen, there's 14 of you in the chat, and I appreciate all of you that have tuned in. I really appreciate you guys. You guys don't know how much I appreciate you. And yeah, like I said, the channel is growing. Hopefully we can push on now, and that's my main aim for this season is to grow the channel as big as I can get it. It's nice to see some familiar faces in here, and nice to see some new faces, you know, like Lone Star, Londoner. I know you've been in previously, but it's nice to see you and Trim, and then all the regulars. Manic, Scott the Red Cannons popped in, Gary, Steve the Arsenal Misfit, Omar, Joanne, both Joannes, Grant. I hope I've not missed anybody out, but if I have, it's great to see you guys. But yeah, listen, guys, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back with the watch along. I might do a transfer update. Also, as well, guys, I will do some pre-recorded stuff. So some of it might be live, and some of it might be pre-recorded. Obviously, the watch alongs will be live, but like with transfer updates, they might be pre-recorded. But yeah, listen, big up to all you guys. And I just want to thank you all as well for your support over the Euros watch-alongs. Those have been brilliant. And thank you for being patient with me. You know, I'm reading out the comments, and thank you for being patient with me with that. And yeah, apologies. I had a bit of a rant earlier about the whole racism and the disability thing. And it's just something that's really I'm really passionate about. But yeah, big up to you guys. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Until then, much love to you all. Take care, guys.